Now, the second component of this educational process has to do with nurturing professional relationships. And there, while trust and rapport is going to be critical and kind of a centerpiece to the relationship between any individuals and any organization, I want to talk with you about a specific notion that we call the web of influence, and why it's vital that you have a web of influence inside your client's organization. Suffice it to say, you cannot allow your business success to be dependent on any one person within the client organization, no matter how high in that client organization that person may be. Why? Well, the answers are simple. That person may leave, that person may retire, that person may get sick, that person may win the lottery and say, I'm out of here. For any number of reasons, if your total business relationship is dependent on one person and you lose contact with that one person, your relationship is at risk. If you remember, we talked about that in the lessons learned. And one of the things that we've learned, what Tenacity has learned, is that to avoid that from becoming a threat, we have to build a web of influence inside the client organization. Now, who should be involved in that web, in your web? Well, it should include the people that can hire you, the people that can fire you, and the people that influence that decision. Those are the people that are critical to have inside your web of influence. Now, we've noticed over the years that many contract managers allow themselves to be blocked from other people in the organization by their direct liaison. In other words, their liaison says to them, look, it's not important that you know anyone else in the organization. This is my responsibility. You communicate through me. And certainly there's any number of explanations as to why a liaison would behave that way. But if we allow ourselves to be blocked from the organization, if we allow ourselves to not have these relationships at multiple levels inside their organization with our organization, what we've seen happen is this. When that liaison leaves, there's a void in the communication. No one really knows what you've done because they haven't communicated with others in their organization. They promised you they would, but they didn't. And now, the very value that you've delivered through that liaison is not known inside their organization. So, it's critical that we develop a web of influence within the client organization with the people that can hire us, fire us, or influence that decision. And we do that by having multiple relationships. We have a direct relationship with your counterpart and one person up in the organization and one person down in the organization. And if you do that at multiple levels, you will notice that if and when one of those relationships breaks, it's being held together above and below until you can repair it. The web of influence. It's critical to your survival.